The off-season is winding down and we're about to get back into the groove of short course off-road racing in just a few days. Let's start by taking a look back at how we got here. We're taking you back to the inaugural AMSOIL Championship off-road season that was 2020. First up on our tread down memory lane, rounds 1 and 2 at ERX Motor Park. This rewind is brought to you by Falken tires. In Pro 4 action, Kyle LeDuc entered Elk River with 99 career wins, but not a single lap turned at the high banks of ERX. He qualified P1, garnering a pole position, followed by win number 100. Behind him, a battle ensued for the remaining podium positions. Johnny Greaves threw a veteran move on Andrew Carlson, where they would finish respectively. On Saturday, LeDuc had to work a little harder for win number 101, doing so with no four-wheel drive. It appeared that any bugs the rest of the field had encountered the day before had been worked out as the lap time margins were even tighter. CJ Greaves found the early lead and held on for 4 laps before a flat put him back to 7th. LeDuc jumped to the front where he swapped positions with Johnny for the remainder of the first half. Johnny, Jimmy Henderson, Kyle Cheney, and Carlson applied the pressure for the next several laps. Around the competition yellow was when Greaves started having brake issues, opening the door for Henderson and Carlson to contest for second. Carlson ultimately held his own for the remaining 2 laps despite a serious run for his money from CJ, the 2019 champ. In Pro 2, we saw a Keegan Kincaid who was on point from start to finish. Behind him was a hornet's nest of action. Position changes, door banging, and chaos ruled the highlight race of the day. Kincaid and Kyle Kleiman showed near-matching speeds. Kleiman found himself in several heavy contact situations before putting him off the pace, before he did settle into the final podium position. Ahead of him finished Mickey Thomas, who claimed his first Pro 2 podium. On Saturday, where Kleiman seemed to have found a cleaner route to the podium, he worked his way to the lead on lap 3. He was then faced with a late race charge from Kincaid, but was able to cover his lines for win number 1 of the year. On to Pro Light action. Established side-by-side wheelman Kyle Greaves stepped into a Pro Light full-time and wasted no time establishing himself as a championship contender. West Coast native Cole Mamer snagged the lead on lap 1, taking advantage of the 4-car invert. He was pressured early by Greaves and Dylan Poynton. After 5 laps, Greaves was able to navigate around Mamer for some clean air. From there, consistent laps put Greaves on the top step ahead of Carson Parrish and Mamer, who put on a 3-way battle with Poynton for the podium positions. On Saturday, the balance of the race belonged to Texas's Carson Parrish, where he led the first 13 laps in hot pursuit of his milestone first Pro Light win. It was Greaves who had other plans, as he charged from dead last. By the end of lap 1, Greaves had breached the top 5, clicking off 2 more positions 1 lap later. It took him all 12 laps to reel in the race leader. He capitalized on an over-rotation by Parrish on the final lap in the 180 turn. Parrish quickly got back on the pace to finish second, and a strong run by Zach Shimmick had him rounding out the podium. In Pro Mod side-by-side, CJ Greaves gained the first advantage and forged onward for the Pro Mod win from the pole. Kyle Cheney kept the pressure on and ultimately finished second. Hot Rod Rodney Van Eperen controlled the final podium position for the entirety, holding off charges from Andrew Carlson, who started last but found himself in the top 5 by lap 4. On Saturday, it was Can-Am's Elliott Burns who was on the hunt for redemption, where he ripped a great start from the pole position and continued to lead for 6 laps. That's when CJ Greaves caught his groove and took the lead for the remainder of the 14-lapper. Cheney and Van Eperen rounded out the top 3, with Burns finishing 4th. And for Pro Stock side-by-side, it was CJ Greaves who was also named the winner of Pro Stock after Jeremy Houle failed a post-race inspection, which followed a thriller of a race. On Saturday, Robert Loire started P1 and ran a near-perfect race for his first career win at ERX. Textron's Jeremy Houle kept Loire honest all the way down to the checkers. CJ trailed Houle for a 3rd-place finish. That does it. Coming up next on our 2020 Rewind presented by Falken Tire, we're revisiting Dirt City Motorplex for rounds 3 and 4.